friends. This is another episode of the program Empire of Lies, in which we discuss manipulation and disinformation in the Russian media. Europe smiles while Skabeeva laments. On the air at 60 Minutes, Olga Skabeeva once again tried to portray herself as a stern harbinger of the apocalypse. The topic of the day was the sensational decision by the United States to coordinate with Kyiv the possibility of striking Russia with American weapons. This concerns Tomahawk cruise missiles, which are capable of striking targets deep within Russian territory. It would seem to be material for fear, but in reality it all sounded like a complaint. Europe is rejoicing, America is increasing its support, and Russia is merely lamenting, when panic becomes impotence. Skabeeva waves words about uncontrolled escalation and a threat to Moscow. But the louder these cries, the more obvious it becomes. Russia is afraid. A country that for years tried to project the image of a strong bear to the world is now nervously counting the kilometers of American missile range and the sums of Ukraine's new contracts with its allies. Yes, Tomahawks are expensive. Yes, they are accurate and proven. But the main thing is their political symbolism. Europe and the United States have stopped playing the game of cautious courtesies and have shown Moscow that the Kremlin no longer dictates the rules of the game. Europe is maturing, and this irritates Moscow. Skabeeva's favorite ploy is to portray Europe as a victim of American interests. But the paradox is that European capitals are now becoming the centers of decision-making. Brussels, Berlin, Paris, Warsaw, all are demonstrating a willingness to invest in defense, to reject Russian energy supplies, and to take responsibility for the continent's future. Moscow, meanwhile, looks like a complaining neighbor. They don't listen to us. They're preparing strikes. They've stopped buying our gas. For European viewers, there's no reason to fear, only confirmation that the chosen course is correct. Russia, as a commentator, the entire 60 Minutes broadcast felt like a tragicomedy. Skabeeva, with a serious expression, reads statements from Trump, Zelensky, and European politicians. And every word is filled with melancholy. The world is passing Russia by, decisions are being made without it, and Ukraine's future is not being discussed in the Kremlin. Europe, by contrast, appears to be a mature player. Yes, there are doubts on the continent. Yes, there are disputes over gas prices and defense spending. But when even Russian state television admits the West is increasing its support and Moscow is forced to merely react, it sounds like symbolic capitulation. Hello, dear friends and comrades. Your favorite program, 60 Minutes Hot on the Trail, is live. We begin with sensational news, so to speak, that could lead to a completely uncontrollable escalation. Special message. US President Donald Trump's Keith Kellogg reported that Trump apparently approved Zelensky's strikes on Russia with American weapons. In Washington, Kyiv also confirmed this information. Negotiations are underway to transfer Tomahawk cruise missiles to the Ukrainian armed forces. The range of most modifications is approximately 1,500 kilometers. The longest-range missile has a range of 2,500 kilometers. A Tomahawk missile deployed in Ukraine could reach not only Moscow and St. Petersburg, but also Kazan, Murmansk, Perm, and Yekaterinburg. The missile's warhead weighs 450 kilograms. Western experts believe that Tomahawks are much more effective than the long-range weapons the Ukrainian armed forces previously received from the United States. Each missile costs approximately $2 million. US Vice President Jay Devon said that US allies will pay for everything. Devon also confirmed this information, stating that Washington is no longer spending money on the Ukrainian conflict. Bottom line, Europe is smiling for Europeans. The main conclusion is simple: we are on the right track. Every news story on Russian TV, every hysteria from Skabeeva is not a demonstration of strength, but an admission of weakness. Russia is losing ground and Europe is strengthening it. Skabeeva can threaten blackouts in Moscow and count the kilometers of long-range missiles as much as she wants. For Europeans, all this is an indication that the Kremlin is backed into a corner. This means the Allies must continue their work, supporting Ukraine, strengthening its defences, and reducing dependence on Russia. Russia is screaming, Europe is smiling. And a smile is the best response to the aggressive noise coming from Moscow studios. This was the programme Empire of Lies. See you soon.